Hey everyone, it's finally time for me to do my 2016 goals video. I know that this has been a while coming, but I tried recording this in my car on the way to work. I set it up in the car. Unfortunately, it was too dark and you could not see my face. And unfortunately for all of you, I decided that you needed to see my face, so you get to see my face for this entire video. You can just deal with it, alright? So I was really struggling with setting goals this year. The last 2 years for lifting have been mostly building back up and trying to recover from a lot of different injuries and then throwing some competitions in there. So I had no idea what to base, what a reasonable year of lifting increases really was. And this year I decided that it's time to cut weight and get down to the weight I want to compete at. So I weighed in January 1st and found out that I did indulge a little bit, just a little bit, on the holidays and got up to 282. That is what I weighed in January 1st. And I've been sitting for the last 3 years right around 275, up and down a little bit there. And that's not going to work. I want to compete in the 231. It used to be lightweight, which made me feel really nice, 231 being lightweight. Now it is middleweight and strongman. So I would need to get down to 231 to compete in the open. So the problem with dieting is really counterproductive with getting a lot of strength built up. It's very easy to gain a lot of strength if you are doing a caloric surplus. It's easy to recover, it's easier to build muscles and strength, whereas when you're on a deficit, it is the opposite. And I can tell you, this is the 17th of January. I am already having some issues recovering, not having as much energy in the workout. And normally for me, anytime I try and diet, as soon as this starts happening where my lifts start suffering, I just cut it out. Well, this year, that's not going to happen. And as of this morning, I weighed in at 271.2. But for me, it's always been really easy to cut 10 pounds. I could do it in 2 weeks. I could do it in 1 week if I was cutting water. So that's not any sort of really good progress. We'll see how this keeps going as I progress a little bit further out. But what I've done is I've set tiers. So the first tier, which I'm calling the minimum tier, at the minimum, I will get my powerlifting total up 100 pounds. Ideally, that would be 40 to the squat, 20 to the bench, and 40 to the deadlift. But honestly, I'm not going to care too much how that's broken down, so long as it is a 100-pound increase. With that, I want to be at 265 for my powerlifting competition, which will be in April. And by the strongman competition, I want to weigh in at 240 so that I could water weight cut down to 231 if I decide to go in the open. That's my minimum goal for this year. My tier 2 goal is going to be a 200-pound increase in my powerlifting total, ideally 80-40-80, and along with that, getting either 265 or 242 for April. And those are two different weight classes in the USAPL. Or just getting to 250 and water weight cutting to 242 if I really feel like it for April. And then getting down below 231 for the strongman competition and ending the year at 220, which is an even lower powerlifting division. And at 220, I would actually, I believe, be very functional. I am not a very big person, or at least I wasn't before I suddenly gained a bunch of weight with new jobs and having kids. I was always around 130. So a lot of this extra mass on me is just fat. It doesn't help. It slows me down. I can't do pull-ups anymore. I can't run. And getting 220 would allow me to be a lot more functional. So I definitely want to strive for that tier 2 goal. And tier 3 would be a 250-pound increase, along with getting down to 200 to 210. Okay, so that is where I think I would actually be very, very competitive based on my height and how I'm built. So that is something that would be really nice if I was able to do it, but I've got the minimum goal, and then tier 2 is what I'm really aiming for as far as pushing myself. I also am going to do my first powerlifting competition. I don't have any idea what numbers I want to hit yet, so as we get closer to April, I'll be putting a video up on that. And I'm going to do my third strongman competition. That's going to be August or September. And I'm not sure yet if I want to go for open. I may try and do one last amateur competition. It's really going to depend on the weights. Last year, I really didn't want to zero a single event, and technically I didn't, but there were 2 events I did not finish. So this year, it is finishing every single event. That is what I want to do at the strongman competition. That's what I'm going to push myself to do. So as I am continuing to progress on the diet, you will see my training log videos. Some of the weights are not going to be as heavy as you normally see me doing. I am going to be working with a lot more higher reps, kind of do a hypertrophy block, and then I'm really going to be working on my triceps. They've been a weak point for me. I'm switching squats over to 5-3-1. Deadlift, I'm going to play around with a little bit and do 5-3-1. And bench, I'm going to keep doing the 5x5 and 3x3, even though I'm not hitting 3x3 now. I'm just going to keep trying to do that program, push it up. And I really want to try and switch over and try Smolov. I need to send an email to Adam, see how he modified it a little bit, because as he mentioned, Smolov's really hard to recover from. Last time I did it, I was only able to do 3 weeks of Smolov before I couldn't take it anymore. And definitely won't be able to do that on a caloric deficit. So maybe that will have to wait till after I hit some goal weights and I'm able to eat a little bit more. But one of the things I can't allow to happen is to hit a goal weight and then just come back up. That's not going to be good for me. And the last goal that I have is I really want to be able to do 1 pull-up over 200 pounds. So as I drop the weight down, that should become a little bit more reasonable and easy to do. And it's going to be allowing me to be a lot more functional. So I have started walking on the treadmill again. I'm going to be working on trying to get running back in, but I'm going to wait till I am down quite a bit of weight before I actually start running. Right now it's just walking. I'm trying to up the speed, but I did have the shin injuries and shin splints, and a little bit ago I tore one of the muscles in there. It wasn't a complete tear, but it definitely messed me up. I was out for 5 weeks in extreme pain. I was still able to lift, but I wasn't able to do any sort of farmers or moving events. Had to go to the doctor, got a bunch of anti-inflammatories and stuff. So I need to build up to it. And the reason that happened is I ended up going to the zoo and walking around for 5 hours in sandals, which was a terrible idea. Don't do that. But that's it. That's the end of this video. Hold me accountable. And if you have any questions on anything I'm doing, want a little bit more information, let me know. I will make videos on that and try and respond. As always, go lift something heavy. Take it easy.